Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundCloud Studios, brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author, Me and Wilson See Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook, coming soon, Missing 2 on Amazon. Double the fun, double the suspense, double the fun. Check it out soon on Amazon. Also, Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Illumina, Think Tank of the Future. The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David, now on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. Also, High-Time Music. Check out the latest at hightimemusic.com. We're here with terrific gentleman who's award-winning director and prestigious producer who's multiracial, living with an invisible disability. He is also mentored by both Oscar-winner Seth Winston and director Penny Marshall. Also won a distinctive award in development, a silver award for Best Music Video, and also Best Music Director as well. And he's got a new release out, which is a Ken Burns style of mockumentary taking place 30 years ago in the future, telling story of America. We'll talk more about that in Unfriendly Fire. Live, ladies and gentlemen, Plus Studios in beautiful, intimate downtown Los Angeles, waiting on a friend. He's on the road right now. The amazing award-winning director, producer of Unfriendly Fire, and a few more. Ladies and gentlemen, the award-winning, multi-talented Richard Tucci. Richard, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it's great to have you on board, Richard. You're an award-winning director and producer who's a multiracial, living with an invisible disability. You're mentored by both Oscar-winner Seth Winston and director Penny Marshall, and you also won the DSTL Right Development Award in 23. You won a silver award for Best Music Video at One Earth Awards and Best Music Director at the Roshani International Film Fest. You also did Blink, Virus X, Threads of Imagination, Dark and Darker, and more. The experience later on. You have a new release, which is a Ken Burns style of mockumentary taking place 30 years ago in the future, telling story of America, taking all sides of a conflict and picking apart the current absurdity of the current political situation. Is called Unfriendly Fire. And before getting all that, Richard, tell us how you first got started.
Oh gosh. Well, it started I talked to my dad a long time ago about wanting to go into the entertainment industry. I was about 17 at the time, and he turned to me and said, if you're about to go to college next year, if you're actually going to seriously go into entertainment, why don't we do something and we'll send you to a program that actually, gives you the real mentorship that you would need for this. So I looked at USC Summer Production Workshop. I was 17. They had a wonderful program which allowed 17-year-olds to go and train along current USC students. And I was absolutely hooked. I fell in love with entertainment. I fell in love with producing and directing, and I fell in love with Los Angeles. And I decided from that moment on, I was going to be a filmmaker no matter what.
Oh my gosh, you had a career that was set just before high school. That is so amazing. I love it. And, and what was that one exact precise moment that simply influenced you into what you do in the rest of your career? Besides, having conversation with your dad, but was it one light bulb moment that simply said, this is it?
I think it was at the summer production workshop at USC, and we got to hear from a whole host of amazing, talented individuals. But I actually got to hear from the director of Pleasantville, a guy named Gary Ross. And he was I loved the film, but also he was incredibly articulate about what he loved about filmmaking and the Hollywood experience. And I was walking back to my on-campus dorm that night, and I thought to myself, I have to do this. I can't joke around anymore about this. I have to take this seriously. And from that moment on, I decided I was going to pick a specialty and I was going to devote myself to that specialty in the entertainment industry.
And so they did a great job as well, too, winning some awards. And who are some of your favorite directors, producers, and also actors and actresses growing up?
Growing up, I think everybody in my generation loved Spielberg, of course. My particular favorite film of his was Hook. I was a huge Robin Williams fan. I loved comedy. I loved fantasy. And Spielberg just put that together in such a masterful way. It was fantastic. I also was very, very fortunate to work with Penny Marshall, who I looked up to growing up. And I loved movies like Big and A League of Their Own and so many of the wonderful pieces in her portfolio. And then also finally, I would say the other great director I looked up to growing up was just before I started film school was Baz Luhrmann, who directed Moulin Rouge. That film
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that film had a profound impact on my style, and I thought, wow, this really busts open the whole thing. You can really do anything with filmmaking.
Hmm.
And
You talked about that film being that style. What was that style you were talking about?
I mean the ability to what a lot of people refer to as MTV filmmaking, the idea that you could just mash up all of these like quick cuts and images and cutting to the music and really telling a story through images in such a fast intertextual way that it hit you more on the subconscious than it did the conscious. Now, Unfriendly Fire is not like that, but it Moulin Rouge really opened up my eyes, and I wanted to emulate that kind of style. And I also grew a passion for musicals because of it as well. So,
Oh wow, it's interesting. Besides Hook and Moulin Rouge, what are some of other favorite movies growing up, and also favorite musicals?
well, I grew up on the soundtrack of Les Mis, the Broadway soundtrack. And it's funny because I knew the lyrics of every song in that musical long before I actually was able to watch the play. I watched it in its last year on Broadway just before I went off to college. And in addition to that, some of my other favorite movies were, of all things, Dick Tracy by Warren Beatty. Um, that film is kind of a forgotten masterpiece, but visually it is incredibly stunning.
That was the one with Madonna in it, right?
Yes, and in fact, most people don't know this, but the song Vogue actually came from the album for the Dick Tracy soundtrack.
I remember that now because when you mentioned Dick Tracy, you mentioned Madonna, and Vogue came up. That all made sense, and I remember that was more of a quickly acclaimed movie, though. So many people thought it was a bomb. They thought it was a joke. It was actually critically acclaimed.
It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
certainly did as well too. And of course, Waiting on a Friend and everything else. We'll talk about some other works, including Brink, Virus X, Threads of Imagination, Dark and Darker with Richard Tucci before getting to Unfriendly Fire. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. It's powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia's got great reviews. And Eva Levin enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and Manales. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Coming soon to Amazon, Missing 2 by Mia Molson-Zia, double the suspense, double the fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also, Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Illumnity, think tank of the future, brings scientists and engineers together from all over the world, creating a method to construct a renewable generator. This unique product operates on a closed loop system, generating more energy internally and needs to function. The extra electricity can be used to run everything from homes, power grids, phones, laptops. This power source is renewable, highly scalable, most importantly, self-regenerating. Visit facebook.com/Illumniptical. That's ELLUMENIPTICAL today. Also, Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Sweet Psalms by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David, including 30 exquisite paintings in King David's Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives a new perspective of David through the Psalms he wrote in his time as a shepherd or started and complicated yet turbulent relationship with King Saul. It's a story of love, betrayal, repentance, hope, and more. Check out the Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist, Serena Wagner. Also brought to you by High 10 Music, featuring Smash Hit Baby Come Back. New music coming soon. Check it out. High10music.com. Also, the Mike Wagner Show, themikewagnershow.com. It can be heard on 40 podcast platforms in over 100 countries. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Follow us today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/me and Wilson Zia for gift books like Missing, Once and Wrinkles, cool merchandise, and more. Make sure you check it out today and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We're here with amazing award-winning director, prodigious producer, and mentored by Oscar-winner Seth Winston, director Penny Marshall, the movie Unfriendly Fire with Richard Tucci here on the Mike Wagner Show. Before we get to Unfriendly Fire, let's talk about Assume It Works. Let's rattle off a few like Blink, Virus X, Threads of Imagination, and Dark and Darker. Tell us more about those.
Sure. I think Dark and Darker is one of my more favorite projects. It is a mockumentary about the history of goth culture. The subtitle was basically For Goths by Goths, and it was every member of the cast was specifically, I made sure that every one of them had a legitimate tie to the goth subculture, whether it was glam goth or steampunk or what have you. And so the ability to kind of create a comedic love letter with the kind of humor and satire that the goth culture really enjoys was really a wonderful opportunity. And I was able to do that because of a contract with a company called Tongle. Most people don't know what Tongle is, but they are a crowdsourced ad agency based in Santa Monica, California. They were growing out some homegrown content for their channel. And I was very proud of the fact that they basically bit of a long story, but they came to me and two other directors, and each of us was going to direct a single mockumentary. And so the first one I did for them was not Dark and Darker. It was actually a Ken Burns style mockumentary about the reality show A Shot of Love with Tila Tequila. And when we had the first call, they were like, if this works out, we're going to do 3 more of these. And I figured, they're going to do 3 more mockumentaries, 3 directors split evenly. However, I was very surprised when the first piece that I directed for them shot up to the top 10% most watched video on the channel.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and on top of that, it also got double the channel's average watch time. And so after that, they approached me and they said, we want you to direct all 3 of the next 3 mockumentaries. And by the way, we're going to throw in a 4th one. And Dark and Darker was was part of that. And I'm so grateful to the wonderful people at Tongle for supporting new and interesting artists.
That sounds like it. And you're getting hooked on the mockumentary as well, too. That's going to be a big thing. And you also had a bit, we're going to throw these out: Dear Los Angeles, Discarded, Logan Incorporated, and Surviving the Holidays with Lewis Black. I like that one.
I can't take credit for all of those. I worked with some wonderful people. Lewis Black, Surviving the Holidays. I worked with a company called Triage. I was an associate producer on the Los Angeles unit. And that was such an eye-opening opportunity for me as well, because what that show really created was a space for actors and comedians and improvisers to come in and do their own stories and do their own routines about Thanksgiving and the holiday season. And I sat there watching these people basically riffing on their ideas with no script and no clear narrative arc. And I said to myself, oh my God, that's an option? and that wound up being the inspiration for not only the Tongle mockumentaries, which I did 5 in total, but also for Unfriendly Fire. And yeah, it was an incredible experience.
You had an incredible experience. You also won some awards like the DSTL Right Development Award, the Silver Award for Best Music Video, and also Best Music Director on one of the film fests. And tell us about those.
Yes. So specifically, the Dear Los Angeles music video, I had an idea in the back of my head for many years now about doing an experimental series about Los Angeles, and I wasn't really sure what avenue it was going to take. And then basically the 2020 pandemic hit. Everybody's favorite year. And I suddenly was freed up with all of this additional time. So I decided I'm going to take a month and make this experimental video series. And it capped off with a music video, specifically with the song Dear Los Angeles. And I was very, very happy to have partnered with some wonderful artists on that, artists and song writers and musicians. And as a result, the music video wound up doing really wonderful at various film festivals, specifically Roshani, as you mentioned, and some others winning awards there. I'm just really proud of it. And if anyone wants to check out that song, you can Google Dear Los Angeles Greater Grander. Our YouTube channel is at Greater Grander. And you can go there and see not only a playlist of the entire Dear Los Angeles series, but also the music video as well.
Uh-huh. And certainly all that too. And adding to the possible award list and
Mhm.
adding on to Richard Tucci's accolades as well too. We'll be talking about Unfriendly Fire with Richard Tucci. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundCloud Studios, brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson See Him Missing, and also by Illuminati Think Tank of the Future, The Sweet Summons by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David on Amazon, and High 10 Music. Check out the latest at high10music.com. We'll be back with the multi-talented, award-winning director and prodigious producer Richard Tucci of Unfriendly Fire after this time out. We're back, award-winning director, producer of Unfriendly Fire, Richard Tucci, here on the Mike Wagner Show. It's a Ken Burns-style mockumentary, your favorites, set 30 years ago, and tell us more about that.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
No, it's Ken Burns style mockumentary, Unfriendly Fire, and tell us more about that.
My apologies. We're having some audio issues. So Unfriendly Fire, after the Tongle contract ended, where I basically made 4 TV length mockumentaries in the course of a year, which was very exhausting. I wanted to roll into my feature right away, and I was debating between a few different topics, and I specifically settled on Unfriendly Fire because it was a story about a second American Civil War and a comedy to boot. So basically,
that's a laughing matter right there.
yes. And basically, I remember this all came from basically the fact that when I was 18 and in high school, I wrote an op-ed for my high school newspaper. Nothing great, just the high school newspaper. But in that, I predicted the dangers of a second civil war in the middle of the 21st century over the issue of abortion. And after, the pandemic and after everything that we saw happen, potentially coming to fruition with January 6th, I decided now is the time to make this. And I was very, very lucky that the actors and improvisers I worked with on Tongle were game to jump into something that was so controversial, potentially. But it was an opportunity to really lampoon and satire the current political state we're in. And I was also very fortunate that some wonderful celebrities also believed in me and believed in the project, including Golden Globe nominee Beverly D'Angelo, Oscar nominee Eric Roberts, and original cast member of Mad TV, Deborah Wilson. And
they all like that.
Yes. Yes. I was very, very fortunate to work with all of them. I actually originally met Beverly when I was assistant to Penny Marshall many years ago. Mm-hmm. And when I reached out, she called me personally on my cell phone. I was not expecting that. It was the middle of the afternoon.
You sure it was about the extended car warranty you forgot about?
Exactly. And I was so excited to put this together with their enthusiastic support.
Oh my gosh, how do you like that? A phone call changed everything. That's so amazing. And of course, you're right too. It's about looking at all sides of a conflict and the absurdity of the current political situation. And of course, it was absurd, especially after the election. There was a lot of mixed feelings about it.
There was. But I'm very, very happy that the actors and wonderful talent that I worked with were interested in diving into this subject, and we're looking forward to potentially doing the festival route. We have several applications out to Sundance, Cannes, Venice, etc., the Western Canadian International Film Festival. Whole host of wonderful venues, and we're hoping to release it and share it with the public sometime soon.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the topics that they get lampooned under Unfriendly Fire?
Well, I'm glad you asked because there's a lot of things that we want to basically satirize. One of the things is the pro-union soldiers kind of making fun of the left is they base their attacks around an astrology app. And then making fun of the right, we have individuals who wind up believing their own propaganda. So in order to hunt down liberals, who they believe are blood-sucking vampires, they hunt their enemies by seeing if they have a reflection. And then if they don't have a reflection, then they attack them. But if they do have a reflection, they're free to go along. So
Oh, I thought you had to get them on an app or something or GPS.
no, no. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's incredibly funny. It's a nice tight 90 minutes, and we've consistently got a lot of wonderful feedback in all of our test screenings.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And where can we find Unfriendly Fire or soon to be in all your works at, Richard?
So I would recommend following us on social media as things develop. We're currently in talks with a couple of avenues right now. I can't go into details, but you can follow us on all the major social media platforms at Greater Grander, all one word. And if you follow us at Greater Grander, you'll be able to see when a screening will be coming to you soon.
Well, certainly check that out. We're with the amazing award-winning director, producer of Unfriendly Fire, Richard Tucci, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And just a few more things, Richard. What else can we expect in 2025 and beyond?
Oh man. Well, as you mentioned, I won the DSTL Arts Writers Award, and they were very wonderful to allow me the opportunity to publish a book with their nonprofit. That book can be found at the DSTL Arts website. It's called Threads of Imagination, and it's specifically about the act of collaborative storytelling, something that I have a great deal of experience with, having worked on a number of these improvised mockumentaries, including Unfriendly Fire. In addition to that, excuse me. In addition to that, we are also going to be, well, actually, a book that I helped edit called How to Survive a Knockout. That's going to be released by Waterside Press in January or February of 2025. And I would say check that out when it comes out.
Well, certainly check that out. And love to have you back to talk about those, Richard. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh gosh. Well, I remember when I was working as Penny Marshall's assistant, I was her assistant for only about a year and a half, but I learned so much from working under her. I remember specifically she talked about trying to work with actors and getting actors to peak. And she specifically talked about her experience on Awakenings, working with Robin Williams and Robert De Niro. And what do you do when basically Robin Williams peaks on take two, but Robert De Niro, a more dramatic actor, peaks on take 10. And so not only do you have to arrange your story and arrange your shots and narrative in a way that's compelling, but also arrange the order in which those pieces are shot in order to get the best performance possible. And I actually found something similar to that when I was working with Beverly and Deborah, who are more comically trained, versus working with Eric, who is more traditionally dramatic trained. Of course, he won, he was nominated for a Best Actor Oscar. So you can see clearly why he is a fantastic actor to work with, an incredible dramatic performance that he turned in.
And certainly did a great job of it. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Oh gosh, there is so much advice that I would love to give to young filmmakers. I don't think we could fit it into a single hour, but I would say the first thing I would say is don't let someone tell you no. Keep making things. You can make small things. You can make one-man short films if you need to. You can make films with no script, clearly, but you can keep making things and keep putting it out there, and it will find a home some way and somehow. And with the advances in entertainment technology, there's so many opportunities out there that eventually something will hit. So I would say just keep going.
I think that's a great idea. I like the idea of doing movies with no script. That's probably my best thing right now. So that's a really good one. Yeah. A lot of ideas here. We're with the amazing award-winning director of Unfriendly Fire, Richard Tucci, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Richard, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. And once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your works?
Sure. Please follow us on social media at Greater Grander, all one word. And our website is actually greaterandgrander.com. That's three words, greaterandgrander.com.
And website again?
Greaterandgrander.com.
Make sure you check it out today, guys. Once again, Richard, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. We wish you all the best. And Richard, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you, Mike.